Hi, this is William from Great Affordable Watches, and today I'm gonna go through some watches you should never buy. I should start off by saying that nobody should really tell you to not buy a watch, and if you like a watch, you should buy it. But I think it's important to know what you are buying, and many watches does seem like great watches, but are in fact very cheaply made and lack quality. And you can often get much better and well-respected watches for the same price as many fashion watches. We should start with a very popular trend, and that is Kickstart Watches. I've seen that many new companies use Kickstarter to fund a watch, and they are often very similar to each other. They are often very minimalistic and use very cheap quartz movements and cost from around $100 to $200, and they're often in the higher range of that, so around $150 to $200 and sometimes even more. And they often say that there are luxury brands for an affordable price and use very good marketing and all that, and they look very good on the renders. But these watches are often cheaply made, and you can get a equal watch from eBay or AliExpress for around $10 or even less, and they cost just a few dollars to produce. And they are retailing for about $150, so you are basically getting a $10 watch for $150. So an example of some of these watches, the first and the most popular is Daniel Wellington, and they make good looking watches, very minimalistic and all that, but they offer poor quality and use very cheap movements, and they cost nothing to produce, and they retail for about they go for about $100 to $150, and you're getting a very bad watch actually for that kind of money. And you could get much better watches like the Orient Bambino, which offers great build quality now with an hackening hand winding automatic movement, which is probably very, very reliable if we look at Orient's older movements. And I think they just have a better quality feeling than these Kickstarter watches or fashion watches in general. We also have the popular MVMT. I don't know how to pronounce that, but movement maybe. And they are basically the same as Danny Wellington. They produce very low quality minimalistic watches. Yeah, they are good looking at first glance, but they are of very low quality, and they are very expensive what you're getting. And the same here, you can get much better watch like the Citizen NH8350, which I have reviewed. It offers a great movement, great quality for the same price as movement watches. And the same can be said for many Kickstarter watches. So the bottom line is that you should do your research and know what you are buying, because often they are a very bad quality. But if you really think the watch is good looking and you know what you're getting, you should go ahead and buy it, because no one should tell you to not buy a watch you really like. Just keep in mind that there are better alternatives. The same can be said for fashion watches like Gant, Hilfiger, Gucci, etc. They often very low quality watches produced, and they only cost a few dollars to make, and they sell for a couple of $100. So you should avoid fashion watches as much as you can. But same here, if you like a watch, you should buy it, and if you find it very cheap, why not? But if you want a cheap watch, you can just go on eBay or AliExpress and buy a very cheap watch for a couple of dollars, and they would probably hold up as well as most fashion watches. Another pretty infamous brand is Invicta. They produce some very, very ugly watches, and often offers very bad build quality and all that, and they have a very inflated price. The official price for the watch, for an Invicta watch, can be over $1,000, but they often sell for a 90% discount. So never believe the actual retail price for those watches, because they never go for that price. And I think that kind of business practice, I don't really like it, and many people dislike that kind of way of doing business. So I said you should avoid Invicta because they offer ugly watches with bad build quality, but honestly they do have some a few good alternatives, a few good models which have Japanese Seiko movements, automatic Seiko movements, which are very reliable, and they go for about around $100. They can be modded very easily, so you can mod the watch and put another dial, other hands, etc. So you can make it your own. And I think if you like modding a watch or into modding, you can look up Invicta. I can leave a link in the description for those watches. But as I said before, you could get better watches from Seiko. Seiko 5 offers great watches for $100. You could get Orient, you could get Citizen, etc. So you can get very good watches. And I should also mention that there are good Kickstarter brands. I think it's a watch brand called Ventus, which offers a diving watch called Ventus Mori, and they offer a good movement, a very interesting design, bronze case and all that for around $200, and I think that's a quite affordable watch and offers great value. So there are good Kickstarter brands out there. There are also brands like Hublot, which offers very expensive watches, high-end watches, but they have very bad build quality, or they have subpar build quality if you compare it to other watches. They often use standard ETA movements, and they have no brand history at all. They have, with the Hublot Fusion, which I talked about before, they basically copied AP Royal Oak design. So in my opinion, you should stay away from Hublot, because they are selling very overpriced watches. And we also got brands like U-Boat, which sell very overpriced watches as well, even more so than Hublot maybe. So I think when you are buying your first watch or your first high-end watch, you should really do your research, because there are very bad alternatives out there and there are very good alternatives. So do your research and read about the watch and all that. But one thing we can thank Wellington, for example, is that they have introduced many people to the watch world, and many people bought or got a Wellington, and after that their watch interest become much bigger, and they are introduced to the world of watches. There are many bad watches out there that are both bad and overpriced. And if you take a look at Kickstarter, you will find a bunch of them. In this video I was just discussing some famous or more popular watch brands that I have heard a lot about. And it seems like it's a trend right now on Kickstarter to create a micro brand that make minimalistic looking watches, and they often use two first names together, like George and Evans or Berman and Stein, and use very good marketing, etc. I will leave a link to a pretty funny article or a pretty funny post about minimalistic watch brands and how to create one yourself. This is all for today's video, and I hope you liked it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.